Hi guys, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here. Whoops, dropping her cards. Speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I have my chakras behind me. Um, there is a root, you just can't see it. There is a crown, you can't see it. um, so this reading is about um, the upcoming debate between the two front runners in the Democratic, or the two remaining um, Democratic candidates, although Tulsi is still in the race, although she hasn't been invited to the debate, probably because they don't want two people ganging up on Biden. Um, Plus, they probably don't feel like she has the numbers, and that she doesn't have the right to be there. Um, she's still in it. She should be there. That's what I think. Um, but we'll see. I mean, it's not happening for her, unfortunately. I still believe she has a lot of good things to say, although I know a lot of people don't trust her and don't like her. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have a lot of good things to say. So, all right, let's see what's going to happen in this debate. They're going to get to sit down instead of stand up. Now, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Let's see what the cards say. I'm going to try to keep my personal opinions to myself. That's hard, but I'll try. Okay, justice. Wow, that's cool. All right, I like that as the first card. This is two sides of a situation and an opportunity to see two sides of a situation. So that's good. Let's see what's crossing it. Hmm. The Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles crossing. The insecurity of the future, both financial and physical insecurity that we have right now. All right, let's just leave it at that. See what's at the root. Okay, we have the Devil card at the root. This is in this deck called the card of materialism. This is about this is about the money, it comes down to the money. But I think in this case, it comes down to who's paying for what. And if we look at those financial backers of Bernie, would be the common folk, and of Biden, it would be the donor class. And so at the root of it is that's the issue. Who are these people speaking for? See what's in the past. Okay, we have the King of Pentacles. So in the past, money, those with the money made all the rules. Let's see what's in the sky. We have the Three of Pentacles. And so the influence of those with money is still there. Still there. Neither of these people here are common folk. We have two church leaders, and we have this master who's probably working for the church leaders. So there's this energy of the people who've been in charge are pretty much still in charge. So their influence will be felt in whatever way that is. Let's see what's in the immediate future for this. Okay. And I think that this is a vision. This is the vision for the future. I think they both have a hopeful vision. So it's not that either one of them is necessarily evil. Sorry, I had to say that. Evil. They're both well intended. There's I think they're both very well intended, and I think they're both going to present their vision for America. How it's seen from the outside. This, as it's seen from the outside, is just how much strength does each candidate have? How much strength? How good of a debater are they? Now, I'm not going to say anything. I was going to say, I'll wait till the end. Domestic situation. A change in fortune. Well, that's interesting. I like that. Change in fortune. Something's going to change. This debate is going to change something. Hopes and fears. King of Swords. King of Swords. I'm not sure what that is yet. Outcome. Defending your position. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana. The Sun. So something's going to be illuminated. So this is an opportunity for a side-by-side comparison. The challenge to the side-by-side comparison is the instability that we are experiencing. There is financial instability for most folks. And for those who are not financially unstable, those would be the sort of the Bernie Sanders supporters, right? The common folk. And then for those who are not in that financial position, there are other things that are putting pressure, that are creating instability. The pandemic now of the C19. Sorry, I'm using code, folks. That threatens whether you have money or not. Right? If you have less money, it threatens you more because you can't afford to go to a doctor. But even for those who have it, it may not be no guarantee that they can survive it, because it does have to do with your it does have a lot to do with your general immunity. And while people with more money generally live longer and have better immunity, people who have money also tend to eat richer foods, and just, like, they may not have the healthiest lifestyles. Not everybody has money has a healthy lifestyle. So that's so it's almost like this is a way of leveling the playing field in a strange sort of way. At the root of it is who's backing who, really. Who's backing who. And um, whether or not the people are ready to, work beyond their own self-interest to the self-interest of all. Like, is it all about me, Leo, or is it, the group, and, raising all the boats, Aquarius, right? The question of the moment, right? And, of course, both of these candidates are Plutos and Leos, so they come in with this sort of sense of wanting to be heard, wanting to be seen. And ultimately, as souls, in order for them to evolve, they need to move in the direction of Aquarius, working toward the common good, which we could say about both of these people, that they have worked toward the common good, but their opinion of what the common good is and who they connect themselves to is different. That's what makes them different. So, kind of in a way, it's the fairest thing we could do, right? Because they're in a lot of ways they're very similar, except for that basic at the root level of who's paying the bills here, who's supporting them, who is freer to do things than the other person, where are they getting their money from, and that's at the root of it. Unfortunately, from my perspective, anyway, in the sky we have, this is some readers read it as dark money. It could be dark money in that respect. But it's certainly the people who have money and the people um, who can uh, afford to. The common folk have Bernie, and the people who like the way things are um, have a lot more behind them, both monetarily um, and such. So, but I think that things will be illuminated because of this. Things will be seen for what they are, which I think is good. The fact that the Wheel of Fortune is in the domestic situation, I would give the edge to Bernie because as it stands, he is no longer the front runner. He is sort of in the back. He's trying to catch up. Um, and so if that is the Wheel of Fortune, a change of fortune, I would see it changing for him more than Biden. Um, the outcome is, showing the structure of things, standing up for what you believe. And then, of course, the illumination of that as the sun, people actually seeing that. And they can make decisions at that point, right? They can make decisions. If there are still decisions to be made, then the people can make it. Let's see what's underneath it all. Did I do that? I don't think I did that. Oh, wow. Okay. Temperance. Wow, that's good. So, temperance is about healing, but it's also about going through challenges in order to strengthen the soul. It is the path of the mystic. It is the blending of fire and water. It's a spiritual initiation. So I would say at the root of this is that the US is going through some sort of spiritual initiation, and how it decides to move forward is going to say a lot about the next couple of years. I was personally devastated, and you guys probably know this, that Bernie didn't do better in Michigan, that he did do well, he didn't do poorly. He didn't do as he did. I thought that he would have done better in um, Super Tuesday. That was a real blow. Things just looked so good. But of course, things are never easy. And Bern will be the first one to tell you. So I think that um, I still think that there's a chance. I still think that there's a chance that um, more of, if not Bernie, more of Bernie's sort of point of view will get uh, put into the Democratic way of looking at things, perhaps. And personally, and this is personal on my end, so take it for what it is. There's going to be pain. There's going to be pain. The question is, how much pain do we want to endure? How much do we want to fight the change? There are a lot of people who just want things to calm down, but that's not going to happen. And it has nothing to do with Donald Trump being president or not. The energy is one of transformation and change. The energy is one of rebirth for this country. Over the next 4 years, really intense in 2022 and 2023, we're going to need a strong leader We're going to need a clear-eyed leader. And of the three people who are up for it at this point, the only one that seems like a clear-eyed and strong leader to me, whether you agree with it or not, is Bernie. I think that Donald Trump is crazy and really debilitated. He doesn't look healthy. From where he was 3 years ago to where he is now, he can't like finish a sentence. He's obviously on some sort of drugs, whether legal or illegal. He's there, and I think the only thing that's really keeping him going is the fact that he's a narcissist, and they tend to just suck the energy out of everyone around them, and so they do tend to live a little bit longer. I think that Bernie is not somebody who likes to attack people, but I also believe that he gets a lot of strength and support from the people around him, which is something that kind of Trump gets in a way, but he does it in a very sort of vampirish way. Very usury way, where I think Bernie is different. I think Bernie is sort of the face of the movement, perhaps bringing the ideas of the movement, but the heart of the movement is the people. And so for him, while this is a big struggle, I think that of all of them, he has the best behind him, the best energy for the long run. Now, Joe Biden, while I like him, he's a likable enough guy, he doesn't seem to have the mental acuity to face the kind of things that he's going to have to face if he does in fact become president. I'm not sure he can even survive going against Trump, because there's just so much that's in his past that Trump can pick on and tear him apart. And while Trump does the same thing, or has done the same thing, or worse, because Trump doesn't have a moral compass in a way. It doesn't affect him in the same way. He can say something to you that he's done, and people are like going to be, yeah, that's you. You do that. He's really good at assigning blame. And I don't think that uh, that Biden can take on that. I don't think so. I think that it's going to be very detrimental to the cause of the Democrats, having him as the face of the Democratic Party. Although he does have the whole Democratic Party behind him. So he does have that strength. And he'll have the media behind him, unless it makes more money for the media to start knocking him down, because it sort of comes down to ratings with them. So this is a conundrum and a quandary that we're in. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what America decides to do with this. Yeah. And then there's always the unforeseen possibilities. There could be physical issues with any of these three candidates. They're all in their 70s. Bernie, I think, is probably the healthiest. He certainly seems to be have the best mental acuity of the three of them. But he's old too. So he's the oldest, right? He's the oldest. And it's interesting that this is about old white men. Um, it's also interesting that this virus is most um, virulent for the old and the infirmed. There's symbology in all of that. There's symbology in all of that. And yes, you know, if Biden gets the nomination, he could pick a good vice president, which may be the saving grace for him. He could pick Elizabeth Warren, putting in that sort of progressive flavor to things. Although I'm not sure that his backers would agree with that. He could choose Stacey Abrams. She's smart. She's black. She's a woman. And she, maybe she's malleable to the Democrats, to the more established Democratic principles. So, I don't know really what's going to happen because I'm too close to it. That's why I love watching Lena and Marianne and the readers from outside of the country. Because when you're in it, it's so very, very hard. And when you're invested and you have your heart invested in something, it's really hard. And I know that people have left, have stopped subscribing to me because they think I'm too biased in favor of the progressives and Bernie. But that's who I am. I don't apologize for it. Um, and sometimes I can't be. I can't separate myself from my readings. It's just not who I am. So you have to kind of take that, take the good and the bad. But this is it's going to be very interesting to see how this happens, and what this brings forth. Um, I think it's important um, for both candidates. All right. Well, that's what I see. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. Donate if you want. If you'd like a reading, you can contact me. There's links below. And thank you to all my new clients. I love getting to know you guys. I love your stories. I'm always amazed at the human spirit and what people are able to overcome in their lives, what they end up making in their lives, how many really good hearted, loving people who want to help people that are out there. There's hope for humanity. It's goodness. There's goodness out there. Goodness doesn't always get um, all the time. But yeah, I want to thank all my subscribers, even those who left. And you take care of yourselves, guys. Be safe. Wash your hands. Use good hygienic practices. Um, don't go overboard with spraying the Lysol and all that stuff, because that stuff is toxic too. So don't lose your minds with that. Um, temperance, what underlies this whole reading, is about balance. Don't overreact. Don't underreact. Walk the straight and narrow. We're going to get to the other side of this, guys, and we're going to look back and say, "Oh, that worked out just as it was to work out." My life is very different than I thought my life was going to look like, but I have a good life. So the best laid plans of mice and men, folks. Just stay true to your heart. That's my only advice. Even if you lose a few subscribers. Take care, guys. Bye.